When you're factoring and you have two terms, the first thing that you should check for is there a common factor? And then it will either be difference of squares or just a common factor, or difference of cubes or sum of cubes. So on this one we have a squared minus 36, which is actually no common factor other than 1. So we have a squared minus 36 is a perfect square. So your answer is a plus 6 and a minus 6. So we call that difference of squares. Have a good day, guys. A squared minus b squared is equal to a plus b, a minus b. On number 2, the first thing that you want to look for is greatest common factor. You have xx, 2 times 5 times x, 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. So clearly the greatest common factor is a 1. So then you would look for two numbers that when you multiply give you a negative 24, but when you add those same numbers you get a negative 10. X times x is x squared. So two numbers when you multiply give you a negative 24, but those exact same numbers when you add them give you a negative 10. So 12 and 2 are working. So we have a negative 12 plus 2 is a negative 10. A negative 12 times 2 is a negative 24. So we have x minus 12, x plus 2. And those are your factors. For number 3, we have to look for a greatest common factor. So if you break this down, you can see that 75 would be 3 times 5 times 5. And then your h. Your 48 is 2 times 24. 24 is 2 times 12. 12 is 2 times 6, and 6 is 2 times 3. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 3 is 48, and then you have a k and a k. So if you look here, we do have a greatest common factor of 3. If you bring that out, what you have left is 5h squared minus 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 2 is 4, so 4 times 4 and k times k. So you have a 4k squared. So we have difference of squares. So your final answer then would be your greatest common factor 3 in the front, 5h plus 4k, 5h minus 4k. On number 4, you're looking for a greatest common factor first. So on number 4, the greatest common factor, let's break it apart. We have 5 and then x to the 5th here you have 25 and x squared. So you look for those greatest common factors. Here you can see you have a 5, an x, and an x. Here you have a 5, an x, and an x. So when you bring out the greatest common factor, 5x squared, what's left over? You have an x cubed plus a 5. This is two terms and it has a plus sign, so the only option would be sum of cubes, and 5 is not cubed. So at that point, we're done. It was just a greatest common factor.